ourselves, we gotta talk about the players. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of King Sejong Station. He just evened up the series with a fantastic game, to say the least. It is our blue Terran player, Ruff.
The top left as the red Zerg, it is Cham.
Alright, so King Sejong, love this map. I feel like some of the best games we get to watch in StarCraft 2 happen on this map. For Cham, though, I mean, I'm a little shocked we're not seeing him turn on the cheese. You know, we're not seeing 10 pool, 13 pool, we're not seeing early speed, we're not seeing bailing all-ins. Ruff is once again building on the low ground. This, I mean, to date, Ruff and I think HCO Mario are the only two players I ever see build on the low ground, but they both have very different takes on the game. Is he gonna hide his racks? What's he doing down here?
Looks like he is gonna hide his racks.
Okay.
Alright. See, what's odd is that Ruff hasn't gone for 14cc yet, so I feel like Cham will be searching for this barracks. It won't like, he won't like go back home thinking, well, Ruff's just gonna 14cc.
I would have,
especially if seeing a gas.
I would have loved if he had loaded into the command center so it looked like an 11-11. That would have been really cool.
One day, man. You should tell Ruff that.
No, I've seen it before. Yume did it versus Masan back in like last year on Neoplanet S. He did like the one supply depot and it saw the drone coming, so he loaded up the command center, and then Masan sends out like 7 drones across the map immediately looking for the double Raxes, but obviously can't find any because there's none to be had.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that, but maybe Ruff doesn't know that. You should tell him.
Well, he's gonna start pumping some Marines out. We don't see the second or third racks this time, though, so I mean, I really don't know what he was hoping Cham would misread from this. Cham did send another drone immediately to look over here for racks, like for that 888 Reaper spot location, but if he had been counting, the SCV count was way too high for this to have been Reapers, for this to have been proxy anything, quite frankly.
Yeah, right now he doesn't know what it is, so he's just assuming to be as safe as possible. Goes for the pool first as well as that gas as well, and this is not something that will totally like make it useless to go into the macro game. We see this as an opener against standard play as well, but I mean, it is obviously a little less economical, but I'm having some serious deja vu. I think like the first game we cast of Ruff on this map, this exact same thing happened.
Well, that's a reactor, not a tech lab.
Oh, and Cham's getting a roach warren, not a hatchery.
Okay, so the problem is, guys, a lot of one-base stuff Zergs can do gets shut down pretty easily, but wow, I can't believe that actually got the Overlord. A lot of one-base stuff that Zerg players do get shut down pretty nicely by bunkers, by having a proper wall down. There are some old school bailing busts that you can do, but as we can see, it's roaches, not bailing, so I really don't know what he's planning to deal with this. I mean, or to do with this. It just feels like he's, as you said, kind of a little bit paranoid, playing blindly into whatever could possibly come.
I don't know if this isn't paranoia though. This is like, this is something. Like, I'm gonna do something with this. Paranoia, early spawning pool. Going for a roach run just in paranoia, I feel is bad play. You know, like the overreaction, like you see a blink stalker all incoming and you can overreact severely and then, you know, get behind that way. That would be like a roach run, it's not gonna do anything. But he's building 7 roaches.
So, okay, these are like really fast Hellions. These are some of the fastest Hellions you can get. This would work if Cham had a natural base.
Yeah, right? Yeah, there's nothing actually to do with it. He does see that there is no natural base, which is, you know, in itself pretty important. And I think he caught the tail end of the roaches popping out. Or, you know, maybe not, because he's not... Well, he doesn't have anything to put in a bunker. Well, okay, here comes a bunker.
Well, I mean, he's going for help. I mean, like, what else could you really do in this situation? He's actually going to swap out, cancels the Hellion production, starts going for Widow Mines. Widow Mines are kind of, I don't know, hit and miss versus roaches. On one hand, they deal some pretty nice damage, but on the other, they don't one-shot roaches like they do most units in the game. So this, not going to be an easy hold, that's for certain.
Yeah, probably investing into a tech lab, even for just one Marauder while it gets picked off, probably would have been worth it. He's going to have not quite enough Marines to fill the bunker, and the bunker, in fact, won't even be able to hit the roaches.
Ooh. That's actually a huge
Neither would
problem.
that Widow Mine.
Nothing here can reach the roaches. But while these are all over here, he knows there's an opening. So Ruff moves across the map. There's not a single... There's what, 2 roaches and a queen. Whole position on the ramp. He's actually fine.
Yeah, very good forethought from Cham right there. In fact, very good. I don't think anyone else would have thought of it.
I like the second bunker. I think he's going to let this fall at the front eventually.
He needs a Marauder. Investing into a tech lab, yes, it'll take some time, and maybe it'll get targeted down, but you can build a Marauder before it's... killed or taken down.
Roach has got a little bit greedy getting in range of that Widow Mine. Did cost him a couple, but as we see, it's really not too devastating. Another one goes off.
Yeah. We got 2 starports behind this again for Ruff.
I think this one will be
with
Banshees,
the third one
though.
on the way. No, a third is on the way, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but he didn't take 4 gases. There's no way you can afford Ravens. As fun and cool and silly as that was,
true.
Ravens are so freaking gas expensive. I mean, 200 a pop, you can't even, not off one base.
That is true. Supply depot does go down, but I think Ruff was expecting that. Has 2 more on the way, and he's not going to get through the... I'm surprised he's making another one. Just let them come up.
I can't believe that the Hellions, by the way, have been tickling these roaches so low at this point. At least 2 are dead. Yeah.
Ew.
Alright, so there's a layer on the way. If Cham's going to go blindly into mutas, and it kind of feels like what might be happening, he's taking all his gases, he should be okay. 2-base mute is a funny thing. We've talked a little bit about it in the past, kind of jokingly to deal with the Hellbats, but this will actually work out pretty nicely against the air opener that Ruff's gone for. And to be completely honest, Cham might have a pretty good idea that there's Banshees, even though he hasn't scouted it, because once again, it's one of Ruff's things he's known for.
Yeah. And with this lair, you know, obviously you get the mutas, but you can also get those overseers that he was very diligent about using in the second game, rather. I guess in all the games, really. Oh no, the second game was I don't think he ever got an overseer in the second game. But anyways, I expect to see a couple more going in there, trying to scout exactly what Ruff is doing, and he will probably see the Banshees. But you know what? Never mind. He's hard countering it. He's just getting spore crawlers just in case of emergency.
Scanning this might change Ruff's plans a little bit, but I doubt by much. The thing about Banshees is their DPS is so high.
Oh, the Spire like is in the mineral line. Huh.
Yeah, it looks like a spore crawler. Anyways, yeah, my point is, like, he'll start transferring out of this. It's not like a waste to get these Banshees out. I don't think he'll cancel build any of them. Yeah, all 3 do complete. Because they're going to be so good against the roaches. Banshee TPS is something you can never underestimate. And even if he goes across the map right now, which it looks like he's going to do... Wait, did he just target fire the changeling?
I feel like he did. I feel like he did.
Okay, anyways, my point with the Banshees is, like, yeah, there's some spore crawlers down, but there's always wiggle room. They'll pick off a queen, they'll maybe shell away at an extractor. The mutas are coming, and he knows it, but there's a time he's got to hit, and that's about now-ish. However, oh, awkward.
Whoops. Okay, so Ruff is doing pretty much what I guess the normalist thing he's done so far. Because we actually expect 3-port Banshee from Ruff. And the opening wasn't too different either. He has stopped Banshee production, seeing that the Spire was on the way, so like you said, he'll find whatever openings he can find, maybe cancel his third, just a pretty nice snipe. But they won't be too useful for so long, as Cham is going to be muta.
I hope he cancels it at least.
Oh no, the drone!
RIP. Okay, so back at home for Ruff, guys. I mean, we see him sort of transitioning off into mech. The starports for now are going to be a little bit useless, and that's okay. They'll come into a large effect later on in the game, but that's until the late game. For now, he's just producing Vikings from them, because, well, Vikings aren't exactly the counter to Mutalisks. If you have enough of them, they actually fare pretty well.
Yeah, they're very important as a add-on unit. You know, just Thors, they can't deal with mutas. You know, like 6 mutas to a Thor, as long as you magic box, okay. The Thors probably will never win. So at any point, defense drones and of course Vikings to help him out, especially in these low number counts like it is right now. Well, he also has, missile turrets and widow mines. Those Banshees are gonna actually survive. It's
actually kind of a real big deal. Those should have been dead meat. That should have been free kills, and that should have meant that there'd be no more air I guess damage. But those living guys, they're not going to do a lot right now, but they will certainly when the fights come later. They focus down bandlings, they can get around the army, they can go to the mineral lines. They're just going to sit there while a real fight happens in the middle of the map. These Banshees have a lot of potential as long as they don't die needlessly. And double expand out of Cham to make up for the lack of the third. I like that choice, but the Banshees should be able to knock down one of these bases.
I don't know if I prefer him keeping the Banshees at home for a future attack or taking down these bases. I guess that they'll also... Yeah, they actually finished too, so no cancel, and also forces the mutas back.
Yeah, they're not going to get there in time to save this first one.
That's a second Roach Warren that he's building. That's a mistake. That is autopilot.
Okay, so the hatchery going to fall down here. He's going to lose the Banshees for it. It's not cost effective for a 1-to-1, but it's worth it to really keep an opponent back who's been sort of behind this whole time. If Ruff knew about that fourth, maybe it'd be a little bit different. But he doesn't know about this 4th base, sadly. Only got the 3rd.
I just love the second Roachborn because you know there actually is a couple of people I know Leanock did it once where if it wasn't their plan they at least utilized both the Roachborns. They got both upgrades at the same time. Cham builds a second one and only then even starts his Roach speed. So total autopilot. It is deciding to go for the +1/+1 missile. So it's gonna be Roach Hydra. He's also getting a Baneliness though. So either he doesn't know exactly what Ruff is doing or he's looking to like bust down the Hellbats.
I really like the wood mine placement, by the way. It's kind of hard to focus them down just because of the refinery being there. A lot of the time, the mutas can clump up and focus them down real quick, but not in this particular instance, I don't think. Thor's definitely caught him off guard, but now fully aware that this is mech. I mean, Ruff's got a pretty strong standing army. I don't know if it's necessarily one he can push with, because timings are all screwed up right now. This is not your standard for either player, really. I mean, Cham was kind of behind because he went for those earlier roaches. Ruff's a little bit delayed because he'd gone for 3 starports. But if he does decide to push, I mean, he'll do some damage.
Still trying to use those mutas. The mutas are, well, the Banshee can help out really well against the roaches. As Cham, he hasn't really gone above these 10 or so mutas. So Ruff knows that he's not dedicating to it. He's going to have to start breeding, I would think tanks, but instead of tanks, Banshees.
Well, finally, like crazy trying to deal with the mutas. He will actually clean these up. Not a set you often see out of the Vikings, but they get the job done.
Oh, that one muta is a hero. Good job, muta.
Well, I mean, Ruff really shouldn't have lost that Viking. He could have just pulled it back, but...
Well,
he gets a 3rd. This is really key. When you go mech, that Geyser's 5 and 6. Those are really important moving into the late game. Not right now so much because it's mostly Hellions and the cheap units, but when you start producing a lot of tanks in fear of Swarm Hosts, when you want to get those Ravens out on 3 starports, those extra gases are so critical moving forward.
Ruff is moving forward. Cham looks to be trying to go for Broodlords, maybe? I don't know what Corruptors would be for, if not that. They're just awful early.
Baneliness is kind of a cute move. There's a hell of a lot of Banshees here, though. There's just really no anti-air.
Yeah, I think actually the Corruptors are for the Banshees, solely for the Banshees. Take them the Vikings, and take them the
Oh my god,
Banshees.
these queens don't even stand a chance.
That army really didn't stand a chance either, though. I mean, the Banelings are not being very efficient, especially when they're getting targeted down like this. But Ruff was not going to do anything with that ground army. It was not very powerful at all. Really, the Banshees are as powerful. So Cham actually getting the Corruptors is perfect here. Just Hydras might have been a mistake.
The Corruptors gonna have to waste a lot of time dealing with the Vikings though first. I mean, the Banshee DPS, as we see with level 2 weapon upgrades, just tears through a hatchery like it's nothing at all. If he goes over to the 4th base, does he still not know about the 4th base? Oh, he still doesn't know about the 4th. There's a counterattack coming too with a hell of a lot of roaches. There's no siege tanks because it's mostly Banshees. There's 2 tanks in the planetary down here. Ruff should be able to hold it home. Oh my god, why is Cham losing so many overlords though? There we go, now the Corruptors get involved.
Yeah, now we'll be able to chase down the Banshees.
Ruff. His Banshees are sitting there, they could be going for the 4th, but he doesn't know about it. The planetary fortress are also not being repaired while this is going on. And
no, go for the Banshees. Go, where did those Corruptors go?
Corruptors are chasing the Vikings, that's what I was talking about before. They buy some time. I mean, the Banshees as well, they're light units, guys. Gotta keep in mind. So the Corruptors don't exactly deal a ton of damage to them, but it's kind of like watching Corruptors fight against Phoenixes. Slow but steady will win the race, but not very fast.
Banshee DPS against the Roaches is disgusting. I think actually Infestors have to come out, or maybe Hydralisk support for the Corruptors, because obviously you can see the Corruptors can't chase the Banshees, and the Vikings, he's starting to build Vikings again. And the Thor's also going to help out here.
11 Banshees out right now. It's just an insane number to consider. This planetary fortress, though, he needs to repair this. I mean, it's not a small mistake. It's a pretty big deal to leave this at like a 3rd health.
It is going to be Broodlords, which I don't know if I like this decision.
We haven't really seen a lot of this in professional play, and I always talk about it a lot. Broodlords are really hard to deal with, though, because chances are you've made too much of the wrong unit in the first place. Now, this isn't going to apply here because it's rough and it's a different type of style, but classic mech... Ooh, gonna lose the... What am I doing? Classic mech ends up not having enough Vikings, or overproduces Vikings to deal with them, so an Ultra Swap ends up winning the game. But finding the base up here on the top right, he knows that he can't stay home. There's no turrets to deal with the Corruptors. Oh my god, that Spine Crawler, Spore Crawler goes down so fast.
Yeah, yeah, he should have spammed spore crawlers. Not quite with enough money though. Has to pull back with his entire army, but yeah, since it's Ruff, you know that he has 3 starports. That's why I'm thinking like the Broodlord transition. He's pretty much going to be banking everything on his Broodlords. Like he has to protect them with his life. You know, make sure the Vikings don't get on top of him. Make sure he doesn't lose the air war, which usually entails fungals. But no fungal, no infestors on the way.
Alright, Ruff tries to focus down the Overseer on the way out. Banshees are... There's just nothing to cover for them, though. The Thors just don't cut it for damage. The Corruptors could chase on top of this. He does retain a lot of the Banshees, though, and that's kind of a big deal. These Widow Mines, though, I mean, this is how he's planning to deal with this. I don't know if this is going to work, because he's not going to have the Viking count to deal with the Corruptors, much less the Broodlords. Thors don't quite cut it either, and the Widow Mines will be offset going on top of the Broodlings. I mean, this, I think, is going to actually work out.
It's also a really nice section here in King Sejong where you can just park your broodlords over to the natural. The Ruff is not even really mining from his natural or his main.
Very true, very true. Actually, with such a low worker count, he does have a higher army supply value as a consequence, but still the Vikings aren't here, the repairs aren't going down, the Widow Mines aren't going to cut it. These Broodlords, they're not numerous, but there's more than enough. And we do have Passaging Lands on the way, so the thought about dealing with the air army through a good couple fungals is certainly on his mind.
Yeah. In this situation, you want to keep those Thors in the splash mode. Even though they gave it.
But the Broodlord's actually segmented away from the Corruptors. This lets the Widow Mines get underneath them potentially. Oh, actually, they're gonna go for the Corruptors instead.
This is a big mess. This is a gigantic mess. Just a minimal split from Cham right there. Make sure that not enough Corruptors go down.
I think Ruff's in a lot of trouble. I don't think he can deal with this.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like his Viking count was never really that high. Like losing all of them on the way back to his home did not help. And I guess there was like a stall of production for a while there too, because like you could see like he built 2 more starports. He knew that it was coming, I think, but didn't. I could have sworn I saw 2 more starports in the vertical tab. Oh, they're in the back between the natural and the.
Oh.
But yeah, so he just didn't have enough time, and now he's just gonna lose. He doesn't have. Well, I don't know. Like if he can wait long enough, there is a chance he can get enough Vikings to push it back. But then by that time, Cham will probably have a really good economy. There's a counterattack at the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, Ruff's been doing damage behind this. He knows the Banshees are worthless to keep them at home, so...
No spores, are you kidding me?
He's gonna clear out the drones. As you said, if he banks up enough Vikings, maybe he holds this. The Corruptor count... The thing about Corruptors, guys, is you can kite them around a little bit. That's the beauty of the Viking. But not much, and it's not easy.
Yeah, and you really want the splash damage from the Thors.
Okay, 4th base goes down. 3rd base doesn't quite go down, but he kills a lot of drones behind this. What am I trying to get underneath the Broodlords? He's going to focus fire them down if he can. There's... Oh, actually the Corruptors. Interesting choice. That'll actually allow the Vikings to get in here. Once the Vikings clear out the Corruptors, of course, the Broodlord's not a problem. Ruff looks like he might just hold this, but at the cost of one of his bases, he traded out 2 of his opponents. Is not going to be worth it. He lost all the Banshees.
Point where I'm talking about, like... Well, actually, this is a problem. Banshees might be, like, the safe... Like... If Cham had any ground army, it'd be so easy.
There's no Hellbats! These Lings are actually gonna kill the tanks, combined with the Broodlords.
But Ruff is killing all the Broodlords, and with air dominance, his Banshees will go uncontested.
Yeah, at this point, he actually doesn't have the bank to remax enough Corruptors to deal with the Vikings. That sort of bank that slowly accrued behind this. That orbital needs to be repaired. There's a lot of SCVs kind of in the main doing absolutely nothing at all, and this is such a wonky game. This 3rd base has still been untouched through all of this.
Dude, if he's able to keep his Banshees alive, he would have air dominance. He has to rebuild them, though, now, and that takes away from his Viking count.
Both players kind of on a crap economy right now. I mean, Ruff killed so many drones. His opponent's down to 46, and it's off of 1 base mining. Not the definition of efficient. He actually can't afford to build another hatchery. I think Ruff actually... Ruff may have turned this game around with those Vikings.
I think so as well. That was a common mistake made in Wings Liberty back in the Broodlord Infestor Day, remember? Like you think you won, and then you just have a bunch of Vikings.
He can actually land the Vikings and actually win this game.
That's true. That's true as well. Cham, just if he has any money, he could build like a medium-sized ground army and really, punish Ruff. But he doesn't have enough money.
No, Ruff has absolutely pulled this off. There's a siege tank holding out against the Roaches. This 3rd base still going strong. The Planetary's been holding out so well.
Yo.
And you know what?
Just talk about how like T3 Zerg is like the best way to lose a game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's the thing that's bothering me. The Broodlords I think were fantastic. Imagine guys that Ruff invests in this many Vikings still, right? But you've got an Ultralist tech swap beneath this. How does Ruff deal with you? Oh, he can't, because there's actually not enough anti-ground. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's a step 1-2 to teach
There's no
reserve.
spore crawlers.
Oh my god.
Oh, Cham, my man. Like seriously, you'd have 2 more bases too if you had any spore crawlers.
No, this is over. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe not even ultras, just like more lanes, more roaches. You see the ground army, something else. But this is a very sad death for Cham. Jesus, GG. Ruff will take game number 3. This will put him up 2-1 in this best of 5.